Well, hello everyone. We were just playing around with technology, so we apologize for the wait, but hey, you never know. Maybe there are some of you that couldn't join us at the top of the hour, so hopefully you'll be able to join us right now. I am so pleased to tell you that with me for the first time here in studio, at least via Zoom, our dear brother Rob Christian, and I'm honored to have him join us. It was an interesting story. I have to admit, I didn't hear his name before, simply because we get preoccupied sometimes with other things and other channels, and we forget that there are so many warriors for the Lord out there, until just a silly incident happened about somebody, trying to pretend that he has a channel like ours, and then I came across some videos that he is trying to at least attack, and one of it says Rob Christian, and that's when I found out about him. So I'm so thankful that the Lord used that evil actually for good. So, brother, thank you so much for joining us, and we are honored to have you here. Please let our at least audience know a little bit about you, whatever you feel comfortable sharing with them. I don't think all of them know of who you are, so that this will be an opportunity for you to invite them to also subscribe to your channel. Go ahead, please.
Hello, thank you, brother. Thank you, brother Fadi. God bless you. God bless your audience. God bless everybody who's listening. My name is Rob Christian. I'm a Christian apologist, debater, and teacher. And I used to teach about Islam and debate Muslims on the infamous Paul Talk panel. So that's, a little bit about me. Maybe we can share also and say that I've been doing this for almost 14 years now.
Wonderful.
And in the last 11 months, let's say almost a year, I started to upload my debates and teachings on YouTube.
That's awesome. And where is this YouTube channel? How can they find it?
You can look for me, just search for Rob Christian, or www.youtube.com/c/Rob Christian without separation. So you'll find me then.
Very good. Very good. And by the way, brothers here in the studio, we want to make sure it says live from the studio, Fadi and Rob Christian, so that people know that this is the guest that we have with us. So, brother, the topic that we've decided to talk about, and by the way, because you are an Arab, you speak Arabic, yes. I guess that's what makes you dangerous, right, in the field of Islam, because you can really smell it and expose it immediately. We're going to talk about the perfect book. That's the Quran, that is the model, supposedly, for grammar, for Arabic language, and that you are not going to find anything in it in terms of errors, especially linguistically, because the language in it is a heavenly language, right? Is that what we hear all the time?
Yes, the thing is, like I mentioned, for the last 14 years that I'm doing this, I really came to know, and I found out that unfortunately, many non-Arabic speaking Muslims are actually victims of this man-made cult. And unfortunately, their imams and shuyukh don't dare to mention about the real facts that are kept hidden from them. So basically, what we are trying to do is we want to show Muslims the real truth about their, you can say man-made cult, man-made religion. And hopefully, when they find and see the hidden things that are kept from them, Lord willing, they will be open to accept Christianity and accept our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because He and only He is the truth, the way, and life. Amen.
Amen. And what we want to talk about here today, the topic has to do with, and I think people can see that on the screen, it is basically something that has to do with the Hafs Quran. Now, what do we mean by Hafs Quran? I'm going to give just a quick background here, and my brother here can elaborate. Now, believe it or not, I think me and Jay Smith mentioned this many times, that the Quran that Muslims have, the most popular version of the Quran, and yes, I did say version, believe it or not, there are other versions. The most popular qira'at, basically, or qira'ah that is used, is the Hafs qira'at, basically, or according to Hafs. And this is the 1924 Cairo edition, which, by the way, was not based on any written manuscript. It was supposedly based on an oral transmission from this particular, reader of the Quran. His name is Hafs, and that was back in the, technically speaking, at the end of the 8th century. And somehow his reading is the most popular one, and somehow our Muslim friends are convinced that it's been transmitted orally for all of these years. Think about it, for 1300 years, and the claim is that it represents the Uthmanic rasm, or the structure of the letters, and it's also a replica of what was revealed to the Prophet of Islam from heaven. Now that's the claim. Today we're going to show you some samples of errors, linguistic errors, grammatical errors, and so on and so forth. Brother, would you like to add anything to at least to the importance of Hafs when it comes to the Quran?
Yes, exactly. Hafs, who is actually Hafs? Hafs is a Muslim who came much later after the death of Muhammad. And if we study about his life and we go through the most authentic sources, we find the shocking facts about Hafs, that he is nothing but a thief and a liar. Actually, all of his hadith are rejected. So for me, as an apologist, I asked the Muslims that we debate or we talk to on YouTube or on Potok, why are you putting your salvation and trust on a liar, a known liar, and a thief, right? Because he used to borrow books, which he never gave back to their owners, and claimed that he's the one who wrote the books. On top of that, all of his hadith, all about you can say the Sunnah of Muhammad, all of them are rejected. Why is that? And why are you putting trust in a liar and a thief like Hafs?
Because somebody told him so, probably. A sheikh told him so, or Al-Azhar told him so, or the tradition told him so. I mean, somehow it's baffling to me. And I'm sure you know this, Rob, but there are 5 at least known traditions of Hafs that have their own variations and differences. So within Hafs, the Hafs family of Qurans, there are variations. What does that tell you then about the preservation and the authenticity of the text itself?
We can say that actually the Muslims played even with the Hafs recitation, because we have always challenged Muslim. Can you show us one original, complete Uthmanic manuscript from the 7th century? According to Islamic tradition, Uthman gave the command to Zayd ibn Thabit to collect the Quran and write it in the Qurayshi dialect.
Correct.
Now, where is that original Uthmanic manuscript? And on top of that, who gave Uthman the authority to burn 6 out of 7 ahruf?
That's if we believe there are 6 or 7. I mean, this tradition about the 7 ahruf was actually canonized later, at the time of Ibn Mujahid, almost 300 years later. So if we believe even the tradition did exist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even the original Hafs they don't have anymore.
That's right. Now somebody is asking a very good question. You know, Akash Haider is asking you, saying, you know, can you elaborate further about who said that Hafs is a liar? Now I would say, Akash, go and Google it. You'll find this on the web. But do you have any source at least?
Actually, Imam Bukhari said it, and Nisa'i said it. Those are at least 2 from
prominent Islamic scholars.
Books, right?
Yes.
6 Sitta authentic narratives.
Hadith. Correct. Yeah. Correct. Yes. So you can go and Google it. I'm sure you will find many who wrote about this. It's not like a foreign knowledge, by the way. We're not like inventing things right here. Everything we share, it's easy these days for people just to do a simple Google search and you'll find it immediately. So brother, let's take a quick journey to show our basically audience or viewers in this case what exactly is going on. And by the way, I want to say this, brother. I maybe failed to elaborate on this. That
and Fadi, if I can just add to the question of the brother who asked us a question about Hafs, I can give you a couple of names.
Go ahead.
al-Bukhari taraku, that means they rejected his hadith. Waqala Muslims, that is Imam Muslim and Imam Bukhari, which are the second most trusted sources to go to after the Quran.
Right.
Both of them, they say his hadith are rejected. That means he is a liar when it comes to hadith. So
this is the top 2 sahih, basically hadith.
Exactly.
Right.
So you cannot trust him.
Yeah. So what I was going to say is this is also part, and I apologize for not mentioning this early on to my viewers because of the technical issues that we face with. This is part of our also podcast, the radio show, and it's called Let Us Reason. So as before, if you joined us like today with Sam, we'll take 24 minutes. We'll take a quick 1-minute break. We'll stay on the air, but we'll take a break and we'll start another radio show for 24 minutes again, because the podcast requires us to only record 24 minutes. So Brother Rob, you'll be also on radio as well as on the Facebook Live, and later we'll air this as well on YouTube channel. So I'd like to welcome, of course, our audience who are listening to Let Us Reason. With me here via Zoom, actually, in studio, our dear brother Rob Christian, who has his own apologetic ministry to Islam, and his YouTube channel also is called Rob Christian, if I remember correct.
Yes, Rob Christian. Basically, if you go to YouTube and you look for Rob Christian, you'll see me with the letter N, the noon, the N. Right,
which is for Nasara. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. So I am going to show our viewers right now at least a slide about one of the many words that are mentioned in the Quran that you will notice immediately the word is written one way in one verse and another way in another verse, when in fact it's still the same word, technically speaking. For instance, the name of Abraham, and people will see that right now, in one of the verses in the Quran, it is written as Abram or Abraham, without the alif or the extension, the extended alif basically, and another one, or in this case, I should say, without. It's not saying it Ibrahim. I meant, to say without the but it sounds like the Hebrew way of saying it before his name was changed, and it is Abraham, like this. And the second time, it's actually with the way the Quran pronounced it, Ibrahim. So go ahead and elaborate on this, brother.
Yeah, as you see on the screen, it says in chapter Al-Baqarah, if you go to chapter Al-Baqarah...
Surah chapter 2, yeah.
Yeah, chapter 2, that's chapter 2 indeed. In the whole chapter, you can find the name Abram, basically, Ibrahim.
Right.
So without an, let's say an E or a Ya.
Without the exactly.
Yeah, so the whole chapter contains, as you see above, without an E, let's say. But in the rest of the 113 chapters, the name is completely changed. So we should ask Allah, which is the correct way to write the name Abraham? Is it without an E, or is it with an E, as mentioned in chapter Al-Baqarah, Surah Al-Baqarah?
Right, right.
And Muslims will say, oh, they are both correct. No, cannot be both correct, because we're talking about a God. Can God make such huge mistakes? We are talking about a complete God, that you claim that he is a complete God, all-knowing, so both names cannot be correct. This is a name, right?
Right. And the idea, of course, our Muslim friends going to come back and say, wait a minute, I mean, the Quran was revealed orally. No. It says it is written in the preserved tablets in heaven. So which way it's written? Which way it was written? You tell me. The way with the or with the way without the And don't tell me Abraham and Ibrahim are one and the same. No, that's not the case, because I didn't grow up basically as a Muslim believing that his name was Abraham. It was the Bible that told me his name was Abram and became Abraham. That's what the Bible teaches, and there is a reason behind that change. But here, there is no logical reason why the name appears in two different ways. Anything else you'd like to add to this particular incident before we jump into another example?
Yeah, Al-Fadi, we can actually conclude that these are traces of human intervention, right?
Exactly.
They actually started to play with the words.
Exactly.
And this is a perfect cluster proof that they actually started to play and add things that are not there.
Yeah, and I would argue, brother, I mean, I cannot really confirm it yet. This is just a theory right now, that some of these things that they were hearing had to do with how Muhammad probably, or his followers, when they went to Medina supposedly and they were interacting with the Jews and the Jewish tribe, they were hearing things about Abraham or Abram, and they probably assumed it was this way, and then later on they realized the name changed and they began to wrestle with those kind of things.
Maybe we can show another example, Brother Al-Fadi?
Absolutely. So I'm going to go to the next example, and this one is kind of interesting. It's found in chapter 20 of the Quran, verse 94, chapter 20, verse 94. And basically, you find the word actually written as, I'm going to say, O son of my mother. That's the English translation. But the Arabic is Yabna You can see the one at the top which is Ya ibn the one at the bottom. In fact, you'll find those two different ways being written for the same verse. And when you go to the commentaries, the Islamic commentaries, believe it or not, they all write it the way at the bottom. Or at least, yes. I don't want to say all. Most of them write it the way at the bottom. They're trying to explain to you why I was said this. And I found, it's kind of interesting, by the way. I'll let you first elaborate, and I'm going to share my findings about the explanation. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, as you see, I mean, you don't need to know Arabic to see the differences. There are separation if you compare them with one another. It's actually the same word, but one is written separately, and the alif is added. You see the long things that are going on to the top, basically, those are the alifs, the A. Ya
right.
abna ummi.
Yeah, here is the ya.
Yeah. So the beneath one, the under one, that's the correct one to write it in the modern way, right?
Exactly.
But if you ask a let's say a college student or a university student, an Arabic speaker who goes to university, and you ask him to read the above word, he cannot read it.
They can, and even
he cannot read it.
If you dictate it to them, say, I want you to write Yabna this is how they're going to write it, the way at the bottom. They're not going to write it the way at the top.
Exactly. So the above one, they cannot read it. And we're talking about a college student. This is not a guy who just, or a kid who recently went to school. So
right.
You have to give them the beneath one to correctly read it. And what is more damaging, Brother Al-Fadi, you see, this is both from chapter 20, ayah 94. But why can we find two different spellings for the same word? Because if you go, let's say, to Quran.com, that's basically the #1 website for the Quran that we can go to. It's written like the above one. But if you go to QuranWow.com, you will see that it's written like the one that you highlighted, the beneath one.
And here is the explanation.
So they are playing, they are correcting the words of
exactly, exactly. When you go and read the commentaries, especially earlier Islamic commentaries, this is what they say. Somebody ask a mufti, okay, a guy who can really issue a fatwa or a declaration or at least explanation. Says, why is it written sometimes this way and other times this way? His explanation was, well, this happened when, I'll give you the background. Moses went to up the top of the mountain, received the 10 Commandments and the 2 tablets. He went down and he saw that Aaron, he entrusted the Israelites to Aaron. They were worshiping the golden calf. So he threw the 2 10 Commandment tablets. He broke them and he grabbed his brother from what? His beard. Now they're saying when he grabbed them in his beard, it's almost like when these letters at the top are conjoined, it's representing that he was like really touching his brother and he's connected to him. But the others who are saying the bottom way of saying it is the right one as well. And why is it separated, the letters? He's saying, well, because he wasn't really yet touching him as closely as he was according to the one at the top. In other words, there's 2 ways to explain it. When he was, if he was really grabbing his brother from the beard closer to him, then you write it according to the way at the top. But if he was just trying to grab his brother, then you write it at the way at the bottom. Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense to anybody, to any logical person who can think about it? Since when's grammar has to do anything with emotions and anger? Anyway.
No, that's an excuse, Brother Al-Fadi, because we have asked Shuyukh Al-Azhar, that's basically the #1 university when it comes to Islam, that's in Cairo, Egypt. We asked them, why are you not trying to fix these disasters that we can find in the Quran of Hafs? We are talking about Hafs, we are not talking about other recitations. This is the #1 used recitation in the world, let's say in Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and so on and so on. But we asked them, why are you not fixing it? And you know what the answer is, Brother Al-Fadi? I kid you not. Their answer is, are you going to ask us to fix something that has never been fixed by any sheikh or scholar? They don't dare to play and fix the Quran.
Right,
so,
right.
What are you trying to ask from us?
Exactly.
I know about this, but you know.
Now we have someone here, the same person, Akash Haider. Akash, I really hope that you're learning here. You're not here just to ask questions only. The question is, does word alif, by the way, alif is not a word. It's a letter. Okay?
It's a letter.
Okay? So it's not a word. It's a letter. And Aleph is the one that is like extended, you know, like a vertical letter. I hope you know that. You have an Arabic name. And the question
he's basically asking, does the letter A matter?
Exactly. Does it matter? Of course it does matter. It makes a huge difference. That's why I'll tell you why it matters. When Abraham versus Abraham, for instance, I'm going to use the biblical way, it matters a big deal. One meant like standing or elevated. The other one meant he's the father of all nations. So it does matter.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just using...
So it's basically asking, does the letter A matter in the English language? Of course.
And also in Arabic. Do you know, by the way, my friend Hader here, I'm going to tell you that you go to later Quranic, still within the early Quranic manuscript family, you'll go to one who are later, like around 8th, 9th century and even 10th century, you'll notice that many of them went back and corrected the missing alif. It's called the defective alif, and they added the daggers or added other alifs to accommodate for those missing alifs. So it does matter. Why would they do this if it doesn't matter? Because it matters in the way you pronounce something and how it might mean for certain words as well. So brother, let's go to another example. This one is found in the same chapter 20, verse 95 this time. And it's Ya Samiri, Ya Samiriyu, okay? Talking about the Samaritans. By the way,
Yes.
The story of Moses says the Samaritans existed at the time of the Exodus. I don't think so, okay? I mean, we're not going to go there anyway.
So here, that's another disaster for another time, maybe.
Exactly. The Samaritans existed after 721 due to the intermarriages between the Assyrians and the remnant Jews in the northern kingdom. But we'll talk about that at a later time. Nevertheless, so the same word, as people can see, I'm gonna, by the way, I have the ability to highlight words for people here.
Yes.
Look at the word at the top. It's exactly the same as the one in the bottom. You don't speak Arabic? Look at it. Does it look the same to you? No. I'm talking to the people who do not speak Arabic.
You can highlight the part, Brother Fadi. You will see that they are trying here to fix it with a baby alif. That small thing that's not even a letter.
That's the dagger alif right here.
Yeah. And so basically, you can read it as Simari. And
well, I tell you, yes, Marie. Yes, yes, Marie, or yes, it can mean something. I mean, sometimes people hear the word yesmer, by the way, they think you're partying, okay? Or yes, Marie, that means you who have like darker skin. That's what it means sometimes, okay? Maybe that's what it meant initially.
Yeah, because we need to think here. We believe if we do some digging and do some research, we will understand and we will see that actually the real Quran was not even in Arabic, because you will find many traces that it's actually in the Aramaic language. But maybe that's a topic for another time. But as you see, as Brother Al-Fadi mentioned, the alif, the whole word changed. The meaning can change.
Exactly. And again, if you're tuning in from Let Us Reason, thank you so much for doing so. Obviously, for those of you who do not know, I have a radio show called Let Us Reason, a Christian-Muslim dialogue with Al-Fadi. And I'm so honored to have my dear brother Rob Christian with me here today. And hopefully we'll have him more, not just on the podcast, but also in the studio through Zoom or Skype or whatever means available out there, because we want to basically bless our brother here by giving him as wide as possible platforms, not just his own, but other platforms, and hopefully others will invite him as well, because we want to work together. We want to help each other. Amen, and we brother. Want to broaden the reach. It's not about us. It's not about me. It's not about him. No. It's about our Lord Jesus Christ, and we want our Muslim friends to have their eyes open and their soul saved from eternal damnation. We want you to be in paradise. Today, our Lord said that you will be with me in paradise. Our Lord Jesus says He is the way, the truth. He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father. Where is the Father? The Father is in heaven. No one comes to the Father except by me. And that's really important for us to know these things. So thank you again, brother, for being here. Thank you for those who are tuning in to Let Us Reason. And we have a few more minutes left, brother. So maybe one more minute, we'll go to another example. And then from there, we will end up basically taking a break and coming to another session of Let Us Reason. So the word that is found in chapter 51 of the Quran, verse 39, sahir, And the same word found in the same chapter, 51, verse 52. People can see it on the screen right now. And this is indeed a real disaster, actually. And I'll tell you why. Take all of these diacritical markings right here. Those are diacritical markings. We're going to take them all out from the word at the top. You know what the word become? Sahar.
Sahar.
Sihr, meaning magic word, or Sahar, that's the name of a person. Now look how they fixed it at the bottom. Sahir, meaning someone who is performing, basically, is a magician, I should say.
Yeah, magician or a wizard, yes. So we have a huge problem here. And the thing is, if we ask a Muslim who is trying to do all kind of gymnastics and tap dancing around the issue here, they will say, but look, you have the vowels. But wait a second, my friend. Can you show me one complete Ottomanic manuscript that contains vowels, let alone dots?
Yeah, that's a $1 million question, brother. We've been asking it for a while now.
Yeah, so it's a totally different word, totally different meaning, right? And the alif, you see how important the A, or actually the alif, is in the middle? Even a non-Arabic speaker can see the difference in the words. Forget about the vowels that our brother Al-Fadi wiped out with his blue pen. It should be the same, the one and the same word. I mean, Allah, you claim that you are God in the Quran. Can God, Muslims who are listening, can God, who claims to be God in the Quran, can Allah make such disasters happen in the Quran? This is a complete eternal being that we're talking about.
That's right.
Should we ask Allah to go back to school and learn to spell Arabic words?
Yeah, right. And here's the difference, by the way. The one at the top is, you can say this is without the diacritical marks or the dagger alif, it's describing the action, sihr. The one at the bottom is talking about the one who is doing the action, sahir.
Exactly.
You see the big difference here? It can make a difference also in the theology of the verse. We have to look at it and the context of the verse and the meaning behind it. And there's many examples like this where the theology is questionable and you wonder who decided that the theology should be read this way or that way because of changing the positions of the diacritical markings or adding dagger alif or many other clarifications. Well, brother, we're approaching the end of our first segment on Let Us Reason. And again, I want to remind people to go and subscribe to our YouTube channel, CIRA International. And we encourage you to become a Patreon patron as well and give as much as the Lord put in your heart, but as little as $1. I mean, we are so thankful for your heart, your generous gift. Even a $1 is extremely generous simply because we can benefit from that to stay on the air and produce these videos. And at the same time, I want to encourage you to go to my brother's YouTube channel, Rob Christian, and do the same. We're not here to make millions of dollars. We're not here to become rich. If we are, we won't be doing what we're doing, actually. We will be probably vacationing somewhere. No, we're here to serve the Lord, to reach our Muslim people, to equip the saints, and we are so thankful for the technology that allows us to do this. Brother, last words for you before we close.
Yeah, as you see, guys, how important it is to have two Arabic-speaking Christians to show you the secrets that are kept hidden from the non-Arabic speaking, in this case, the Muslims who we call the victims of this Arabic man-made or created cult. It's really important to have two brothers like us. One can confirm the other about these disasters that we can find in the Quran. And if you Muslims claim that Allah is the true God, God cannot make such mistakes. You cannot have a cake and eat it too and call yourself God of the Quran while you have many words. These are just couple of simple words, but there are dozens and dozens and dozens like these disasters to be found in the Quran.
Amen.
Thank you, brother Al-Fadi.
Amen.
And maybe we can continue.
Yes, we will come back. We will come back segment 2. And again, thank you so much, everyone, for listening to Let Us Reason. And next week, we will continue, of course, with another segment. Thank you for watching. Please like our video. And we encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, CIRA International. And be sure also to click the bell so that you receive notifications whenever we upload new videos into the channel. And finally, I like to prayerfully encourage you to become a patron through Patreon. Your giving is much needed and will enable us to produce more and more of videos like this so that we can publish them on a weekly basis. So thank you in advance.